have an ordinary Monday. Have a Burger Monday at Beef O'Brady's. Stacked high with fresh Angus and fries, just $5.49 all day. Beef O'Brady's Burger Mondays. Nobody outbeefs beefs.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another session of Sports Talk49. Always here for your viewing pleasure. I'm here today to talk about the Thursday night loss to the Buffalo Bills. Bucs fall 3-4. You see the headline, you know what it is, and you know what I'm going to talk about. Bucs fall to 3-4. Is that dropping 3 in a row? Detroit, Atlanta, Buffalo, short week, no Vita Vea. I think I said at one point, what does this team do if Vita Vea goes down injured? What does this team do as far as depth chart when this man comes down? You got to see how key part Vita Vea plays in that pass rush, in that defense, in that run fit, which they weren't bad at stopping the run. James Cook, 14 carries for 67 yards, but the defense continues to find ways to keep fighting. They give up 24 points. They seem to only give up around that margin of points each week. But the offense refuses to score points. I said if the Bucs score 21 points in each game, they would have a winning record right now. 21 wouldn't have done them much justice in this game because the Bills scored 24. But it still stands if they score 21 points in each affair that they play. Baker Mayfield. Well, let me before we go into that, we'll just address the, Ryan Neal and Devin White situation. I said this before on social media. Don't try to address other people until you address what the real issue is, and it's your offense and your quarterback. Well, really your quarterback and your running game that's killing this team. Your defense ain't killing this team. I don't care what you say about Ryan Neal. I don't care what you say about all that. With all of that, if you just are an average offense, a lot of those problems aren't even existing. Because with Ryan Neal, you completely demolished the same. With Ryan Neal, you won the other 3 games. With Devin White, you won the other 3 games. Stop trying to find other reasons why you lost. You lost because it was the same reason your offense hasn't been that hot the entire season. Your quarterback. You can duck and dodge and avoid, and I've been fair to Baker Mayfield. I've been fair. I said, let's take it one game at a time. Let's see what he's got. The guy struggles to find the open guy. Just watch the game and look how long it takes him to find receivers, to look at the coverages, to know who the hot man is on the route, who you're going to. Mike Evans shows frustrations because he either throws the ball in the dirt, doesn't know where to place the ball on a certain route, and this is a guy who you wanted in the draft. You did, Bucs Nation. This is a guy who was a first overall pick. This is a guy who was a first-round selection. These are things that he should be already knowing how to do. Yeah, he sold you hook, line, and sinker in the preseason games and a vanilla defense or the defense is playing and a vanilla offense that the Buccaneers were playing. Congratulations. A first overall pick looked great in the preseason game and just repetition of offense. Yes, he did. Am I saying it's all doom and gloom? No. I think Canales has to understand now that you have to make the offense as simple as possible for Baker Mayfield because he cannot figure out complex routes. He's not throwing anticipatory throws like I showed you in the last game with the sequence of the last 4 games, the sequence of the high-low throws, trying to force the ball to a guy who's not open. These are characteristics that he was not showing in the first weeks. And I sat right here on social media and said, regardless of him not having big pass plays and all that, he's doing the one thing that you can do to win games. Don't turn the ball over. Keep the ball out of harm's way. Now he's not doing that. You have your defense consistently making play after play, week after week, and I think you've become spoiled to it because you're talking shit about players that have been balling the entire season. Like I said, don't try to find scapegoats. Address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is your quarterback. Address that before you try to address somebody else. Bucs defense, again, stops people in the red zone. Number one red zone defense in the league. I don't care if a team has 500 yards passing or 600 yards of total offense. If they can't get in the end zone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to put points on the board to win the game. You have a bunch of yards and lose the game. It's happened several times, but if you can't punch the ticket and get in the end zone, what the hell was all that for? So you need to, like I said before, I'll give them the defense their dues, or I'll blame them when it's their actual fault. But these guys continue to be on the field over and over, and it takes tolls. Playing constantly. Now you play a mobile quarterback this week. Well, yesterday. Now it adds a different variable to the defense play. Now you got to account for this guy scrambling, finding an open man downfield, buying more time for the secondary to cover. And they still were able to keep them in a manageable situation for Tampa Bay to win that game. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the club, your quarterback just can't put the ball in the end zone in clutch situations. It is what it is. You can't do it. You can blame Rachaad White, who only had 9 carries for 39 yards, but he had 7 receptions for 70. Tom Brady made a killing off of throwing the running backs. If they vacate the area and your back is open, those are your handoffs. It doesn't matter. I don't think fans honestly really care about the rushing yards. They just care about the fluidity of the offense. If you just move the ball down the field, I don't think they'll care. I know I won't. As long as you're moving the ball, finding ways to keep your offense going, who cares? Eventually, you do need a run game because people are going to key on things. You need to stretch the ball downfield to keep the defense honest so they don't play up. You got Trey Palmer. You got stellar wide receivers. You have no excuse. Your offensive line has been playing really well at times. You have no excuse. So either you're not studying to see what defense you're playing, you're not understanding your schemes to what you're doing. There is some type of something that's not transparent to what you're doing in your weekly preparation to this game. Granted, you only had a couple days to do so, but something's missing. Something's missing. And I'll break down this tape and I'll show you guys again on social media what's going on in these progressions, what's going on and things like that. And like I said, it's not just Baker bashing. I like that. It's not just Baker bashing. It's just letting you know what the real issue is going on. He's got to fix it. He's got to get out of his own way. I said at the beginning of the year I was worried about his maturity. He's been chilling out. He's been doing his thing. But what do you do now, Baker, when you're backed against the wall? You were sitting on cloud 9. Now you're sitting in the doghouse. How do you respond? Yeah. Great job getting your first sack. Chasing down Josh Allen and getting the sack. Of course, you got the wheels on you, big dog. Congratulations and welcome to the sack club. Secondly, I cannot go without, God damn, Antoine Winfield is a beast. And that's what I mean about you Bucs fans and not just them, just people in general. You've come spoiled to seeing the defense and him make plays that you want to get on the defense about what happens in the game. They keep creating turnovers week in and week out. 2+ almost every game. That's a recipe to win. So regardless of what you say about Neal, regardless of what you say about Devin White, the guys are producing turnovers. They're getting the ball back for your offense. And both of those guys I mentioned are part of that defense. So either they have to cover somebody at some point there where a play was made by somebody else because there wasn't nobody else to throw to, or they made the play themselves or help contribute to making the play. Because on defense, you can make a play without making a tackle. There's no stat for taking on a block. There's no stat for taking on a double team to free your guy to make a big play. There's no stat for those. That's why defense, you can't just say, oh, somebody's not making enough splash plays. But he's making plays that are leading to a turnover on downs. They're helping with that. That's why they're playing. So if your only statistic is interceptions, sacks, forced fumbles, strip sacks, then there's a lot of terrible guys in this league. Because a lot of other guys do the fundamentals each and every game, like Levante David, who doesn't make a lot of splash plays. He just plays football, covers tight ends, punches balls out for fumbles, in the right game, in the right spot, in the right gap. That's another one. Gap responsibility on defense, a stat that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. You covering your gap and run fits, other people aren't. That's why they break out. Again, that's just education in people who understand the game. What's your thoughts? Those are mine. Baker Mayfield the problem? Is coaching the problem? Not really. The guys are coached. The guys are well prepared. The players got to play. It's not a coaching problem that your guys aren't mentally in the game and keep making pre-snap mistakes. That's on your quarterback, and that's on that. It's not your coaching. So these guys are professional to know to go on to. These guys have been professionals to know this not move until the ball snap. Those are things that have been taught to you since Pee Wee League. So that's not a coaching thing. I don't know how, like I said, I don't understand. Some people come with some things. It's a coaching thing when you call certain plays that don't work and you keep running them. There's plays being ran that guys are wide open, but your quarterback's missing them. Now the run game, you got me on that one. We have to figure out a way. But like I said earlier, if your run game is going to be, just short passes to the back, that's fine. That's extension of the run. You're putting him in space rather than running between the tackles. Whatever, that's what works. You have 5 players on offense that are responsible for catching passes. Each player is responsible for 20% of the play. That was long. It's kind of a long ending, but that's what I wanted to. What's your thoughts, guys? What's your thought? Coaching, Mayfield, Rachaad White, Ryan Neal, Devin White. What's your excuse? Mine's the offense. You fix that. You fix a lot of the other problems. You fix the stupid pre-snap penalties. You fix a lot of your problems. I'm Blake Anthony. See you next time. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless, and